Commission Christian Radio presents Nicodemus, the Faithful Pharisee by Colm Flanagan. Episode 6, A Request and More.
I was woken from a disturbed sleep. It was early morning, yet once again someone was at the door. I turned over hoping they would go away, but the knocking persisted. Joseph?
Oh, Nicodemus, they are crucifying him. The high priest got together a mob who howled to Pilate for Jesus to be executed, and Pilate sent Jesus to Herod, who just simply sent him back. And finally the mob, headed by Caiaphas, of course, threatened to report him to the emperor, and he gave in. Oh, by now Jesus will have reached the place of crucifixion on Golgotha Hill.
Then, Joseph, it's over.
Oh, yes, I'm afraid it is.
Oh, you'd better come in. Let's have some breakfast. I too have had a bad night. It was a very sombre breakfast. Elizabeth, Joseph and I sat, not saying much, because what was there to say? Jesus meant so much to all of us, but for him to be betrayed by his own people and condemned to a horrible death, I didn't want to see what was happening. The morning passed, largely in silence, until, about midday, the sky grew unnaturally dark, and soon we sat in pitch darkness.
What can this mean?
I don't know, but it's as if God is covering the land in darkness. Could it be that Jesus has died, and this is his way of showing displeasure?
You might have something in that, love. It took 3 hours before the darkness lifted. Then Joseph stood up.
Nicodemus, I know what I must do, and I need your help. We must bury Jesus today after they take him down off the cross. His body cannot be left to rot by being dumped in the common waste grave with the criminals.
But Joseph, how will we do that?
We will go to Pilate and ask him for permission.
Pilate? But surely...
I think it will work. I have met some very high-up Roman officials because of my business. I'm well known to them. Pilate must realise that the temple leadership were prepared to bring him down if they didn't get their way. I doubt if he's going to listen to them if they object.
Well, yes, of course. I'll come with you.
Then let's be on our way.
Throughout the city, there was a strange hush. Arriving at the governor's residence, we asked to see Pilate, and, to my surprise, we were accepted. As Pilate's secretary led us to him, we passed some temple officials leaving. They looked very annoyed for some reason. I wondered why. Had they not got their desire with Jesus dead?
So, good afternoon. Joseph from Arimathea. Yes, I've heard about you. I understand you wish to make a request concerning the man they are calling the King of the Jews.
May I also introduce my friend and colleague Nicodemus, who is also a member of our Sanhedrin.
Are you both friends of the high priest, then? Have you come to ask me to change my notice?
Sorry, Your Excellency. We have not met any of our colleagues since last night and have heard nothing about a notice.
Well, you see, these people said that Jesus was claiming kingship of the Jews. That's rubbish, of course. The fellow claimed no kingdom on earth. The high priest threatened me with an appeal to Caesar. So I decided to place a notice on the cross above this man, and I wrote, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews."
I see. They didn't like it?
Oh, they had the nerve to come and complain to me again, going on about the notice and wanting me to change it to read, "This is Jesus who claimed to be King of the Jews." Well, I just bawled them out, sent them packing.
Well, Your Excellency, I have no wish to go against my colleagues on the Sanhedrin, but I think you were right.
You don't seem very enthusiastic about them, Joseph. Nicodemus, what do you say? Do you think he wanted to lead a rebellion?
No, Your Excellency.
Well, I agree with you. There was something about him which I just couldn't understand. Nevertheless, what's done is done. Now, what do you want?
Your Excellency, we wish to give a proper Jewish burial to Jesus' body and place him in a tomb, not the common pit. He is not a criminal.
Well, have you somewhere in mind? Somewhere discreet?
I understand, Your Excellency. I have a tomb which has never been used, and we will place his body there.
At this point, a Roman officer who'd been standing silent behind Pilate since we entered the room whispered something in his ear.
Am I right in saying that you and your leaders would wish all the bodies taken off the crosses before sundown, which is the start of your holy day?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Very well. Gaius, go now to Golgotha. Check whether they're dead or not. Tell the soldiers to break their legs if necessary. That'll speed their departure from this world. They'll suffocate quickly. Oh, and report back to me when it's over.
Gaius left the room. Then we got another surprise.
Now, gentlemen, our business is over, so you can begin your preparations. But first, I would ask a favour before you begin.
Of course, Your Excellency. We have all been affected by the events of this morning.
Very true, Nicodemus, very true.
And the favour?
I would like you to speak with my wife, the Lady Julia.
On what subject?
Well, as you put it, recent events, Nicodemus. Shall I call for her to come? She can explain.
Yes, of course, Your Excellency.
That's good. Servius, ask the Lady Julia if she would join us to discuss a recent event with 2 members of the Sanhedrin. I think she'll come willingly.
It really seemed very strange talking to the man who had sentenced our beloved Jesus to death. I got the distinct feeling that Pilate himself had been deeply affected by what he'd done and was almost trying to make amends, maybe. And why did he want us to speak to his wife?
The Lady Julia, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Servius. Please leave us now, but send Gaius to me when he returns from Golgotha. My dear, these are the 2 Jewish gentlemen I spoke of. They are Joseph from Arimathea and his colleague Nicodemus.
You are, I understand, members of the Jewish Council, the Sanhedrin.
Yes, my lady.
And you are among those who brought Jesus from Nazareth to my husband, seeking his death?
My lady, we did not agree with that decision. We believe that Jesus was no threat to people of goodwill, but the high priest and many others thought differently. Their will prevailed at the trial.
Why did they want to kill him? What did he do wrong?
My lady, he healed many who were sick and did good things to many.
Those things are good, surely. Was he plotting against Rome?
No, my lady. I was with some of his disciples one day in Galilee. The taxes of his followers were due, and they had no money. Jesus miraculously produced a fish which had a silver coin in its mouth. He said to them, "Give to Rome the things are owed to Rome, and give to God the things that are owed to God."
So why did he deserve death? I do not understand.
Julia, it's been a long day, and they have much to do before sunset. But tell them of your dream, if you wish.
Last night, I had a dream. I met someone, perhaps an angel, speaking quietly but with great power. He said, "Tell Pilate to have nothing to do with this man." I knew he meant Jesus when they brought him to my husband for judgment.
But, however I tried, the priests and their mob would only accept one verdict.
They backed you into a corner. Nicodemus, Joseph, I believe you are indeed followers of this man. I saw him one day. I was in my carriage being taken through the streets. I heard his voice and listened. At one point, he stopped. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." Then he seemed to look straight into my eyes. At that moment, I knew he was not a man, but a God come to earth.
The one true God, Lady Julia.
The kingdom of heaven, he said, not of this world.
He said to me once, God so loved the world that he has given his Son to save all who believe in his name.
Enter.
The legate Gaius, Your Excellency.
Yes.
Your Excellency, the man called Jesus is dead.
Thank you. Now, Joseph, you will need a cart and driver for your work. I will arrange for one to go directly to Golgotha. Gaius informed the soldiers at the cross that these men have my authority to take the body. They are to assist as necessary.
Very good, Your Excellency.
May God go with you both. Perhaps we will speak of this again.
Of course, my lady, as it suits you.
And perhaps you would put in a prayer to your God on my behalf.
We will. And thank you for your assistance. It is important to us.
I know. Now you must go. Peace go with you.
And also with you, Your Excellency.
We left them and hurried to Golgotha, pausing only at my house for ointments, spices and bandages. Time was passing.
Shouldn't be long now, Centurion Tiberius.
I'm looking forward to getting back to the barracks. This has been a strange day. I mean, there's been lots of crucifixions in this place, but today's one? All that darkness, that was new.
Yeah. The one in the centre's dead already. He even said it himself. It is finished. Odd thing to say, though.
Very odd. I think he was an innocent man. There's been a mistake made.
Well, too late to do anything about that now. He's gone. Hey, what's this?
It's the ones who want to take him away and bury him. Pilate has authorised it. Right, let's get started. Bring this man down first and get his body onto that cart. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Tiberius Claudius at your service.
Thank you, Centurion. You've been informed about what we're doing?
Yes, sir. Careful with him.
What's that wound in his side?
When we heard from Pilate to break their legs, your man seemed to be dead already. We had to check, so one of the men pierced him there. The blood and water ran together. Sure sign that he was dead, not just in a swoon.
I see.
Right, lads, onto the cart. As you commanded, sir. The body's in the cart now.
We'll pull it ourselves with the help of our driver. It's not far to go.
You're obviously friends of this man, but...
Yes?
Well, he didn't seem like a criminal. And the way he called out at the end...
What did he say?
He cried out, "It is finished." What could that mean? And earlier I heard him speaking to the guys hanging on the left cross, and he told them he'd be in heaven. How could he do that? Is he the son of the gods?
You've been closer to God than you think, Centurion Tiberius. Perhaps someday we'll speak again of these things.
I'd like that, sir.
Nicodemus is my name. I and my friend Joseph were followers of Jesus. We saw many strange things and many good things, and now an awful thing. But for now, farewell. We must be about our business before sunset. We left the soldiers continuing their grisly tasks on the other two men and pulled the cart to the tomb in the garden which Joseph owned. We washed the blood and anointed the broken body of the man we'd come to believe was our Messiah. Then we laid him in the tomb. The words, "It is finished," stuck in my mind. Was it a cry of desolation, of something good destroyed forever? Or was I and others missing something? And did it really matter now?
In the story of Nicodemus, the faithful Pharisee, the part of Nicodemus was played by Mark Clanny. Other parts were played by members of the Commission radio drama team. The play was written and produced at Commission Studios in Belfast by Colm Flanagan. Episode 7 is entitled The Third Day.